Emma Hayes stood in the hallway of Xenial Station Academy and felt very small. The corridor stretched for what looked like 3 football fields. The walls glowed with soft blue light that came from nowhere and everywhere at once. Students moved around her like water flowing around a stone. Most of them were taller than her. Some were much taller. One student had 4 arms. Another one had skin that changed colors as he walked. She held her tablet with the schedule they gave her. The words said room 247. That was where her first class would be. Biology. Of course they put her in biology. Everyone knew where she came from. Everyone knew she was from Earth. Emma was 14 years old. She had brown hair that she had cut short because long hair got in the way. She wore the academy uniform they gave her, which fit okay but felt strange. Back home in the colony on 442B, people wore practical clothes. This uniform had weird seams and the color was too bright. It was the same blue as the hallway lights. "First day," a voice asked behind her. Emma turned around. A boy stood there, also 14 or maybe 15. He had dark skin and kind eyes. His uniform was the same too, which meant he was human. Emma felt relief flood through her. Another human, that was something. "Yeah," she said, "I'm Emma." He said, "I've been here for 2 years. My family came from the Atlantic colony. Where are you from?" "Earth," Emma said. Nodded like this made sense. "My grandmother is from Earth too. She tells stories about it. She says the gravity was lighter and the air was cleaner. She says she misses the rain." Emma thought about Earth. She had been there once when she was very small. She remembered green things growing everywhere and water falling from the sky. She remembered it being soft and easy. Nothing was soft and easy anymore. Everything was harder now. The gravity was heavier. The sun was different. The plants on 442B were sharp and had thorns. The animals were fast and dangerous. "I'm going to room 247, Emma said. "Biology." "That's where I'm going," said. "Come on, I'll show you the way. The station is confusing at first. There are signs, but they are in 4 different languages." They walked together down the hallway, talked about the school. He told her about the teachers and the different species and what classes were easy and which ones were hard. He said the math teacher was great. He said the science classes were better because the teachers actually let them do things instead of just reading. More students moved past them. Some of them stared at Emma. She knew why. Humans were rare. Most humans lived in the colonies on 442B. Nobody left those colonies to go to a fancy space academy unless something special happened. Emma's parents had gotten special permission. Her father was a scientist. He had done something important with water systems. The station council wanted her family to move here. They wanted human knowledge and human perspectives. That was the official reason. The real reason was probably that the council wanted to show other species that humans were useful, that humans could fit in, that humans were not just the fragile creatures from the soft planet that nobody had heard of until 50 years ago. A group of students passed them. They were tall, all of them. They had 4 legs and arms that bent in strange ways. Their skin was smooth and silver. They looked at Emma and made sounds to each other. Emma heard the word in their sounds. She knew that word. It meant she was from a world that would kill you just for existing. The gravity would crush you. The heat would burn you. The cold would freeze you. The plants and animals would attack you. Back in the colonies on 442B, was a good thing. It meant you were tough. It meant you could survive. Here it meant you were weak. Here it meant you were fragile and needed protection. "Don't worry about them," said. "They always do that. They think we're interesting, like we're some kind of show." "Are we?" Emma asked. Shrugged, kind of, but some of them are nice, and most of them don't actually know anything about us. They just know the stories. They reached room 247. The classroom was bigger than Emma expected. There were pods for sitting that looked like they could fit different body types. The teacher was standing at the front. She was, which meant she was small with blue skin and eyes that could see in the dark. Her name was Teacher, and she smiled at both of them. "Emma Hayes," the teacher said, looking at her tablet. "Welcome to the academy. You can sit anywhere you like. We start in 1 minute." Emma found a pod that fit her body and sat down, sat next to her. The class filled up quickly. There were only 14 students. That was small for a class, Emma thought. Back in the colonies, classes had 30 students. Then she saw them. Outside the window in the space dock area, there were 4 figures in dark armor. They were not students. They were not workers. They stood very still and very quiet. They were looking at the academy building. They were looking at the entrance. They were looking at the doors. Emma watched them for a long moment. Then she looked away. She did not want anyone to notice that she had seen them. She did not want to draw attention. She was still new. She was still trying to fit in. But she knew something was wrong. She could feel it. It was the same feeling she got before a storm on 442B. The same feeling animals got before an earthquake. The same feeling that meant danger was coming close. Teacher started the lesson. Biology, comparative anatomy of different species. Emma tried to listen. She tried to take notes. She tried to act normal. But her mind was still on the window. Her mind was still on the four figures in dark armor. Her mind was still thinking about why they were there. Her mind was wondering what they wanted. Leaned over and whispered, "You okay? You look worried." "I'm fine," Emma said, but she was not fine. She knew something. She did not know what. But the lunch alarm sounded at noon. It was a soft chime that came from the station itself, not loud but clear. Emma heard it in her second class, Advanced Planetary Science. She had made it through biology without falling asleep. Now she had 45 minutes for lunch before her next class started. Found her as she left the classroom. He was holding his lunch tray already, a container of food from the academy cafeteria. The food was strange. It was designed to feed many different species. Some of it was green and moved on its own. Some of it was hard and crystal-like. Emma's portion was normal food from Earth. They kept that separate because their stomachs worked differently. "Come eat with me," said. "There's a group of humans in the north section. You should meet them." Emma followed him through the hallways. The station was busy now. Classes were changing. Students moved in all directions. She saw teachers from different species. She saw a robot maintaining the light panels. She saw a student, which was rare because rarely left their home system. They had skin like liquid silver and eyes that glowed. They were walking through the main corridor when the lights changed. It was not a big change, just a flicker. Just a moment where the blue glow dimmed and then came back, but Emma noticed it. She noticed because the lights had not flickered before. The lights had been steady and constant. Then she heard the first sound. It was not the alarm, not the lunch chime, not a normal sound from the station. It was a sound like something heavy moving fast. It came from somewhere above or below or maybe from the walls themselves. "Did you hear that?" Emma asked. "Hear what?" said. Then they came around the corner. Four figures in dark armor filled the hallway ahead. They moved with purpose and speed. They were not students. They were not teachers. They were not station workers. Emma knew this instantly. She knew this the way her body knew when danger was coming on 442B. The first figure raised something that looked like a weapon. Not a gun, not exactly, but something that would cause damage. People started screaming. Emma grabbed and pulled him back around the corner. She did not think about it, she just did it. Her body moved faster than her mind. Her hands moved. Her feet moved. Everything that came from being raised on a dangerous world started working. "What is happening?" said. He sounded shocked. He sounded scared. Emma did not answer. She was listening. She was watching. She was thinking. The four figures moved deeper into the hallway. They moved toward the student zones. They did not seem to care about students running away. They moved like they were looking for something, like they were looking for someone. An alarm began to sound. A real alarm this time, not the lunch chime. A red alarm that meant danger. The kind of alarm that made the lights turn red and made the whole station pulse with warning. Officer came running from the other direction. Was like teacher but male and larger. He carried a device that could stun people without hurting them permanently. He moved fast. "Everyone to the emergency rooms," he yelled. "Now move, move, move." Students started moving. Most of them did what they were told. They knew how to follow authority. They knew how to be safe. But they did not know what danger looked like, not the way Emma did. The four armored figures turned when they saw Officer. They did not run. They did not hide. They moved toward him with weapons ready. Officer activated his device. He sent out a wave of energy. One of the armored figures went down. It hit the ground hard and did not move. The other three kept coming. One of them did something to the light panels. The hallway went dark. Not completely dark, but the lights were gone. The emergency lights came on, but they were dim and red. It was like trying to see in blood. Emma could see better than most people in the dark. Something about being from Earth, something about her eyes, let her see a little better in low light. Not much better, but enough. She grabbed again and pulled him into a classroom, an empty classroom. She closed the door and locked it. She pulled him to the back of the classroom, away from the window in the door. "What is happening?" asked again. His hands were shaking. "Assassins," Emma said. She said it simple and direct. "They came for someone." "How do you know that?" "Because I can feel it," Emma said. "The same way you can feel a storm coming, the same way you know when something bad is going to happen." Through the small window in the door, Emma watched. She saw other students running. She saw more of Officer's security team coming. She saw more armored figures moving through the hallway with purpose. There were more than 4 now. There were at least 8, maybe 10. This was not a small problem. This was a big problem. One of the armored figures grabbed a student. It was a young, maybe 12 years old. The student screamed and tried to get away, but the armor was too strong. They pulled the student toward one of the main corridors. Officer tried to stop them. He sent his stun wave again. It hit the armored figure. The figure slowed down but did not stop. The armor protected them somehow. The stun did not work the way it was supposed to. Emma realized something bad. The station's defenses were not ready for this. The weapons did not work. The security team did not know what they were doing against people with real military armor. This was going to get worse. She was right. The armored figures moved faster now. They moved through the hallway like they owned it. They moved like they knew exactly what they were doing. They were professionals. Emma could tell, she could see it in how they moved, in how they worked together, in how they did not panic when things went wrong. Officer tried again. His security team tried, but they were not enough. The hallway became in seconds, not with guns and explosions, but with fighting and panic and people running and screaming. Emma held close in the dark classroom. She said nothing. She just watched. She just waited. She just thought. In her mind, she was already planning. She was already thinking about what came next. She was already thinking about what she could do, what one person could do when everything was falling apart. Because Emma Hayes was from Earth and did not give up, did not hide, fought back. The question was how. Knew something bad was going to happen. Emma made a decision. It was not a big decision. It was just a choice, but it changed everything. "Stay here," she told. "Do not move. Do not open the door for anyone except security." "Wait, what are you doing?" Grabbed her arm. Emma pulled away gently. "I'm going to do something. I do not know what yet, but I know they are looking for someone. I know they do not expect to be stopped, so I am going to stop them." "That is crazy," said. "You are 14 years old." "So are you," Emma said. "But I grew up somewhere that tried to kill me every single day. This is just people with armor. At least they are not poisonous." She unlocked the door and stepped out into the red hallway. The fighting had moved further down the corridor. She could hear sounds of struggle. She could hear Officer yelling orders. She could hear the assassins moving through the station like it belonged to them. Emma started walking toward the main hallway. She did not run. Running meant panic. Running meant surrender. She walked like she had a purpose, like she knew where she was going. She found a maintenance cart. It was sitting by the wall, probably left there by someone working on the station. The cart held tools and parts and things for fixing the station. Emma grabbed a heavy metal pipe from the cart. It was about as long as her arm and solid in her hand. She also grabbed a light emergency beacon. It was the kind that could pulse and flash and make noise when activated. She put it in her pocket. The main hallway opened up in front of her. It was chaos. Students were running in all directions. Some of them were hiding in classrooms. Some of them were trying to get to the emergency exits. The assassins were moving through the crowd like hunters. Emma saw one of them grab a student. The student was tall and strong, but the armor made the operative stronger. The student struggled and kicked. The operative held him like he weighed nothing. Emma activated the emergency beacon in her pocket. It started flashing and making a high-pitched sound that made everyone look around. Then she threw the metal pipe. She threw it hard and fast, not at the operative but above him at the light panel. The pipe hit the panel and shattered it. Sparks flew everywhere. The lights in that section went out completely. The operative dropped the student and looked around, confused. For just a moment, his attention was not on the student. For just a moment, he was trying to understand what happened. The student ran. Emma did not wait to see if it worked. She grabbed another pipe and moved to the next section of the hallway. There was another operative here moving through the crowd. This one was pulling students aside and looking at their faces, looking for someone specific. Emma made noise. She banged the pipe against the wall. She yelled. She did everything to get attention. The operative turned and saw her. Emma was small. Emma was young. Emma looked like she would be easy to handle. The operative moved toward her. Emma did not run. She stood her ground. But she did something else. She moved to the side quickly and activated the emergency beacon again. She threw it down the hallway. The operative followed the sound and the light, moving away from the students. Came out of the classroom. He saw what Emma was doing. He understood. He started doing the same thing. He made noise. He created confusion. He moved students to safety while the operatives tried to figure out what was happening. More security arrived. Officers and 2 others. They had better weapons now. Real weapons. Devices that actually worked through the armor. When they saw Emma and creating confusion, they moved faster. They had a chance now. One operative came at Emma directly. This one was bigger than the others. This one did not seem confused. This one saw through her trick. Emma felt the first real moment of real fear. She was still just 14. She was still just a girl. This operative was a trained killer in heavy armor. But Emma had something the operative did not have. She had lived on a world that would kill you if you made a mistake. She had fast reflexes. She had good instincts. She had pain tolerance that came from a harder place. When the operative reached for her, Emma dropped down low. In Earth gravity, this would have been easy. In the station's gravity, it was harder, but still possible. She ducked under the operative's arm and moved behind him. She was fast. Not superhuman fast, but faster than the operative expected. She hit his arm with the pipe. Not hard enough to break anything. Just hard enough to make him let go of what he was carrying. Just hard enough to hurt. The operative turned on her. He raised a weapon. Emma threw the pipe at his face and ran. She was not stupid. She was not going to stand and fight someone with better armor and better weapons. But she had bought time. She had bought enough time for students to move. She had bought enough time for security to move. Officer and his team moved in. They were better prepared now. They knew what they were fighting. They had the right tools. 3 of the 4 operatives were fast. They moved back toward the exit. They realized they could not win. They realized they had failed their mission. They ran. The 4th operative was on the ground. Officer stood over him with a weapon. The operative did not move. Emma stood in the hallway breathing hard. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was beating very fast. But she was alive. The students were alive. They had stopped the assassins. A young student came up to her. It was the one that the first operative had grabbed. The student looked at Emma with eyes that showed respect. Real respect. Not pity, not fear, not curiosity. "Thank you," the student said in perfect English. "You are brave." Emma did not know what to say. She had done what needed to be done. That was all. She had seen the problem and she had solved it the only way she knew how. Came and stood next to her. He put his hand on her shoulder. Officer was talking on his communicator. He was calling for backup. He was reporting what happened. He was saying that the situation was under control. But Emma knew something else. She knew that the assassins who ran away would report back. She knew that someone had sent them. She knew that this was not over. This was just the beginning. The hallway was no longer but it had changed. Everything had changed. The students who had seen what happened now looked at Emma different. They looked at her like she was strong, like she was useful, like she was human in the way that mattered most. The 3 assassins who escaped did not go far. They moved through the station corridors looking for another way into the academy. They had failed their first attempt. That was not acceptable. They had been paid. They had a mission. Failure meant death or worse. Emma watched from the main hallway window as security teams moved through the docking areas. She could see them out there regrouping, planning something new. She told Officer what she saw. "They will come back," she said. "They did not get what they came for." Officer was older. He had been a security officer for 10 years. He had never seen anything like this. But he trusted Emma now. He had seen what she could do. He had seen how she thought. "We will be ready," he said, but Emma could hear the doubt in his voice. One time was luck. Another attack would test everything. Principal arrived 30 minutes later. He was the head of the academy. He was tall and had 4 arms and smooth silver skin. He moved through the hallway with authority. Students moved away from him without being told. That was just what happened when the principal came. He looked at Emma for a long time. His eyes were large and dark. They could see many colors that humans could not see. Emma felt like he was looking past her skin and into her mind. "You created order from chaos," Principal said. "You are young. You are from a world we do not fully understand, but you acted when others could not." "I just did what I could," Emma said. "Yes," Principal said. "That is exactly what you did, and now I must tell you why they came." He brought her an officer and to his office. The office was big and had windows that showed the space dock and the stars beyond. Everything looked small and far away from up here. Principal said he used one of his 4 hands to point to a picture on his desk. It showed a young, maybe 12 years old, small even for my ward, my adopted child. He is worth a great deal of money to those who would want him, a great deal to those who have enemies. Emma understood. The assassins had come for the child. They would have taken him and used him for leverage or ransom or something worse. "He is safe?" Emma asked. "He is in the secure section," Principal said. "He will remain there, but they will come again. They have already been paid. They have already committed to this mission." Officer said nothing. Emma could see that he was thinking. He was calculating how many guards they would need, how many resources, how many ways the assassins could attack. "I will help," Emma said, "however I can." Principal looked at her again with those dark eyes. "You have already done enough. You are a child. You should not have to bear this burden." "I am from Earth," Emma said. "Being a child did not protect me there. Growing up means being useful. Growing up means understanding that there are things that need to be done." So they made a plan. Officer worked with security. They made the academy safer. They added guards. They added alarms. They made it harder to move through the corridors. But Emma did something different. She stood in the main hallway, the one place where the assassins would have to come through if they came back. She stood there during lunch. She stood there between classes. She stood there like she was waiting. Stayed with her, he did not say much. He just stood next to her. That was enough. Other students came too, not because Emma asked them, but because they understood, because they had seen what happened, because they knew that one person standing meant something. It meant you were not alone. It meant that safety mattered more than fear. The attack came on the 3rd day. Emma was standing in the hallway with 3 other students. A named Tess, a named Choir, and a named Silk. They were not fighters, they were just students, but they stood anyway. The 3 remaining assassins came through the south entrance at midday. They had weapons, they had armor, they had training and experience. Emma stepped forward. She did not have a weapon, she did not have armor, she just had herself. "Stop," she said. "You cannot come through here." The first assassin laughed. It was a sound like metal scraping. "We are armored professionals, you are a child." "Yes," Emma said. "I am, but I am also from Earth. That means I do not give up. That means I do not run away. That means I do what needs to be done even when it is hard." The assassin moved forward. Emma did not move. She stood her ground. "My home tries to kill everything," Emma said. She spoke loud so everyone could hear. "The air tries to kill you. The water tries to kill you. The plants try to kill you. The animals try to kill you. The gravity tries to crush you. I have lived my entire life fighting not to die. You think you scare me." "Yes," the assassin said. "I think you should be terrified." "Maybe I am," Emma said. "But I am more terrified of what will happen if you get to. I am more scared of failure than I am scared of pain." She took a step forward. The assassin raised a weapon, but Emma did not stop. She kept walking. She kept talking. "On Earth we have a saying," she said. "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. You can hurt me, you can kill me, but you cannot make me stop fighting, because I come from a place where stopping means death, where surrender means the end." The assassin hesitated, for just a moment, for just a second. Something in her words reached something in him, something human underneath the armor. That was when Officer and the security team moved in. They came from all sides. They had weapons ready. They had numbers. The assassins tried to run, but the hallway was blocked. They tried to fight, but they were surrounded. 2 of them gave up. They put down their weapons. They fell to the ground. They had lost, and they knew it. The 3rd one, the one who had hesitated when Emma spoke, did something different. He took off his helmet. Underneath the armor was a face. It was a face. It was a person. "You were right," he said to Emma. "About the fear, about fighting back. I did not want." The investigation took 2 weeks. The council sent representatives from 5 different governments. They wanted to know how the assassins got in. They wanted to know how the attack happened. They wanted to know who was responsible. The operative who had put down his weapon talked to them. He told them everything. He told them about who hired them. He told them about the rival faction on his world that wanted to cause problems for Principal. He told them about the money and the plan and everything. It turned out to be more complicated than anyone thought. It was not just one person trying to hurt the Principal. It was a political move. It was about power and money and things that happened very far away. The attack at the academy was just a small part of something much bigger. But the council also looked at what happened during the attack. They looked at what Emma did. They watched the security recordings. They talked to Officer and all the other students. And they came to a decision. They gave Emma a medal, not a big medal, not something that meant much in the larger world, but a medal anyway. Something that showed she had done something important, something that showed she had made a difference. The ceremony was in the main hallway, the same hallway where the fighting had happened, the same hallway where everything changed. Principal stood next to her. He put the medal around her neck with one of his forearms. The other students watched. The teachers watched. Officer watched. "Emma Hayes," Principal said, "you have shown that humans are not just a people from a soft world. You have shown that where humans come from, what humans are made of matters. You have shown courage that most people never find." Emma felt the weight of the medal on her neck. She felt the eyes of everyone looking at her. "I just did what was right," she said, and she meant it. She had not been thinking about being brave. She had just been thinking about what needed to happen next. After the ceremony, students came up to her. The young student came and held her hand. He did not say much. He just wanted to be near her. Tess and Choir and Silk all thanked her. They told her she was the bravest person they knew. Was waiting for her when the ceremony finished. He had 2 lunch trays, one for her and one for himself. "Come eat with me," he said. "There is something you should know." They went to the cafeteria, led her to where a group of human students sat. There were 6 of them, all human, all from different parts of the colonies on 442B and different parts of the station. Emma said, "These are the other humans at the academy. We want you to know that you made us proud. You made all of us proud. You showed what humans can do." A girl named Sarah smiled at her. A boy named gave her a high five. A girl named said, "You are the coolest person I have ever met." Emma sat down and ate lunch with them. They talked about Earth and the colonies and what they wanted to do when they grew up. They talked about her actions during the attack. They asked her what she was thinking. They asked her what she was feeling. Emma told them the truth. "I was scared," she said. "I was very scared, but I knew that being scared did not matter. What mattered was that something needed to be done, and I was there, so I did it." The next day, Emma was walking through the hallway, the same hallway, but it was different now. Broken light panels had been fixed. Scuff marks had been cleaned. The emergency alarms had been turned off. It looked normal again. But it was not normal, because when students saw Emma, they looked at her different. Not with pity, not with fear, not with curiosity about where she came from. They looked at her with respect. A student that she had never met before nodded at her. A teacher said good morning like she was already a colleague instead of a student. In the hallway smiled at her. Caught up with her at her next class. "You are famous now," he said. "The whole station knows what you did." "I do not want to be famous," Emma said. "I just want to go to class and learn and be normal." "You will never be normal again," said. "But that is okay. Normal is boring anyway." Emma looked out the classroom window at Earth in the night sky. It was a distant blue dot. It was so far away that it looked small. It looked fragile. It looked like it could break. But she knew better. Earth was not fragile. Earth was hard. Earth was harsh. Earth would kill you if you made a mistake. Earth taught you that survival meant being strong, being smart, being willing to do hard things. All of that was inside her. All of that came from Earth. She had brought all of that to the stars. She had brought the spirit of it to a station where everyone thought were weak. And everything had changed. Not just for her, for all humans, for how everyone saw humans, for what humans meant in the wider galaxy. One person, one girl, one hallway. That was all it took. Emma Hayes sat down in her classroom and opened her tablet. She had biology to study. She had mathematics to learn. She had a whole academy to navigate. She had a whole future ahead of her. And she was ready. She was from Earth. She was human. And the galaxy was about to learn what that really meant. Be here, I did not want this job, but I needed money. I needed to survive, just like you. Officer pointed his weapon at him, but the operative put his hands up. He did not resist. He walked forward and let them take him. As they led him away, he looked back at Emma. "Do not forget," he said. "Not everyone is your enemy. Some of us are just trying to live too." Emma did not know what to say. She just watched as security took all three of them away. Anna's survival was everything. Anna, that made you matter. And Emma Hayes had just taught the entire academy what that meant. And she was right.